Hello and welcome back to the Kiana Experience. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve this beautiful, vibrant, festive, monochromatic red look. So if you're interested, keep watching. So getting started right away, I'm going in with this Louise eyeshadow base, and I'm just going to put that on my eyelids, starting from the lash line, bottom part, all the way up to the brow bone, and I'm doing that on both of my eyes. Then I'm going to take this Luscious Lex palette with these gorgeous colors, and I'm going to take that red, and I'm going to apply that all over my eyelids. I'm doing that from the very base down near the lash line, all the way up to the crease point, and I'm just gonna blend that out. So I'm doing like a smoky eye technique. I'm packing that color on, making sure that there isn't any white showing underneath, any creases and anything. Everything is completely red, and I'm just blending it out and applying it, blending it out and applying it. And I'm going to continue doing that until I'm satisfied with the amount of red that I have and the blend that I've achieved. So you'll continue to blend and blend and blend until you absolutely love it. So I see I'm missing some spots. I'm just going back over it, making sure that every single piece is on there. And that P. Louise base is really especially great for that. Any eyeshadow base will do it, but that P. Louise is really great at holding pigment and making it really show up. So here I'm taking a blending brush. Probably should have showed the brush, but I'm new to the videos. I'll get better at real detail. But there's I use a blending brush, and I pack the colors on the lid, and then I use that to blend it out to the lash. So I'm just going back to these other eyes and making sure that everything looks even as far as the color and the blend. And while the tape is present, it's super easy for me to make a straight eyeline for this look, so I'm not really putting much into it, but my back, you could do it, but your back could do it. And I'm doing that line, and when I remove the tape, they'll be good and even and ready to go. Then I'm taking my Smashbox primerizer. This stuff is great. It moisturizes the skin and primes the skin for makeup at the same time. And when I worked at the counter, I got to try this on a lot of different skin types. So it's really good for most skin types. It's light enough for oily skin. It's super duper hydrating to dry skin. So it's just a really good product. I apply that all over, and then I mist my face with the prep spray from Decay. I'm using the ever so accessible black Opel foundation sticks. They're super duper creamy, and they're really affordable, and you can find them everywhere. I'm starting with the stick foundation that is the most like my complexion, and I'm putting that all over. But I am using other shades of the black Opel to match all the dimensions in my skin, just to make sure that everything looks perfectly even. So I'm taking that highlight color, and I'm putting it on the bridge of my nose, down the center of my forehead, right above my eyebrows, a little bit on my chin, and underneath my eyes, on the top of my jaw. On the top of my cheekbone. And then I'm going to take the contour color and just go right underneath my cheekbone, across the edge of my forehead, down the side of my nose, and a little above the chin. I probably should have just put it on the brush because I was struggling for that angle, but it's okay. I made it work. And of course, you got to get that neck fit. Chinchilla got to disappear. So I contour that as well. And that is all. I take a great stippling brush, and then I'm using a combination of pressing and blending strokes. So as you can see, my hand is at the back end of that brush. I'm not close up. I'm making sure that my hand is at the back and all my pressure is not pressed down on the bristles, because if the bristles are not moving, neither is your product, right? So I'm just taking my time. I know this is moving fast, but I'm taking my time and I'm actually blending it out. And as you can see, there's no lines on that side. Everything is looking really good. And I still went back on that side just to hit it and make sure it's right. And once the other side is blended out, I'm still going to revisit the other side, because the more product that is moving, the more that it's blended out, the more that you make sure there's no harsh lines from like your forehead going into your hairline. Everything is soft, the more natural and the more believable it will look. So as you can see, everything is getting blended out very well, and I'm done. So I took my It's You concealer that I got from my local beauty supply, and I'm putting it underneath my eyes in like a triangular shape, and I'm filling that in to highlight underneath my eyes. I'm also going to put that down the bridge of my nose, just a button on the end, and I'm going to hit the tip of my chin and the center of my forehead as well. I'm also dragging it down to my lip area, because you know sometimes you have that shadow around there. Some of us have a little hair, so just to make it all nice and bright. And then I'm also putting it just at the center bottom of my forehead. And I'm taking my sponge and I'm blending all of that out. Now that sponge is going to blend that into my skin, but it's also going to pick up anything extra we don't want. That blender is soaked in water and squeezed out with the excess. So it's going to pick up some product and absorb the product into the skin at the same time. So it's an equal share. So I got this Maybelline Fit Me Powder. I really love this. Also something easily accessible. You can get this at CVS, Walmart, some grocery stores that have the beauty aisle. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Powder, and I'm just putting that underneath my eyes. I'm putting it basically in all the places that I just applied that concealer. So I'm putting it all under there so that it can, as they say, bake. But for me, I don't particularly like to bake because I myself, Kiana, I don't have oily skin. My skin is pretty normal. So I'm only going to let that powder sit on there as long as it takes me to contour with my bronzer. After that's done, it's immediately coming off. I can't sit there too long with that. That's also why I do my baking process last. If you're a girl with oily skin, maybe you do your skin first and let that powder sit on there for a while you do those eyes. I can't do that. I'll be looking like chalkboard Keisha, okay? Anyway, so I'm blending this out all around, and all the places that I put that dark, I'm blending it in the same way. I'm not keeping any hard lines. I'm just adding what I need and blending it out. Now, same deal for getting this powder off of me. I didn't use any other colored powder when blending this off because I actually think this powder does a great job of blending in with the skin. It doesn't give flashback and it doesn't look ashy when you're done. So I honestly don't wipe it away with anything. I just wipe it away really well. As you can see, those bristles are moving on my face. They're not being stiff. They're dusting and fanning and wiping away all of this powder. As you can see, my forehead matches my chest. That little cutout that you see down there, everything is matching because that highlight that I put on created that same skin tone in my skin. My shoulders and the top of my arms are darker. That contour matched that, right? So using that same stiff eyeshadow brush, I'm dipping back inside of that red shadow and I'm just smoking underneath my lash line. I'm just filling it in completely to make sure that all of that red is popping underneath so everything looks finished. I'm also taking some of my powder to contour my nose with the same brown that was in that Morphe palette. And after I contour my nose with that brown, I got the genius idea. Wait a minute. Let's go extra. Let's like contour our face with red. Let's do this. You know what? What about red in the cheeks? Let's go monochromatic. So this is the moment that I decided that everything was going to be red. So I was like, yeah, I'm going in here with the same, that palette that you see with all this beautiful pigment came from the beauty supply store, Moira Cosmetics. So I'm going to link it. It's like super dope, super great, $14 palette. So anyway, I'm blending it out. I'm adding this all into my the in-between part between the contour and the highlight, like the actual apple of the cheek and that space in between it. So I'm just continuously adding that. I'm bringing some of this up to my temples and I'm dusting it. I'm using a small bristled brush, but it's really fluffy. So I'm able to work in those small areas and really fine tune exactly how much red shows up. I'm dancing and moving so clearly. I'm feeling myself, as you can see. And then I just kept going in with this palette, getting a bigger brush so I can buff it out more and add more color. I'm really trying to control how far this color goes while still, going for it. So after I'm like really happy with it and satisfied, I'm like, okay, let me cut that and clean it up. So using the exact same powder, the Maybelline Fit Me Powder, I'm using my same Real Techniques beauty brush, beauty sponge, blender sponge, whatever they call it. And I'm putting that powder underneath there just to cut it. Hey, I couldn't help it. Anyway, so I put it under there just to cut it. And then again, because I'm not a oily girl, I want to get it off as quick as possible. So I'm like, okay, get the lines off. I'm puffing up my cheeks to make sure I'm getting every little piece. And I'm blending all of that away until I'm satisfied. As you can see, that second line was giving me a run for my money. So I had to switch to a brush that was more densely packed to get more bristles to really blend and move that line off of my face. So after I was satisfied, I then went in with my Evian facial mist. It has a funny word, perfumistimizer or something like that. I go in with that mist spray and I wet my face completely, like moisten it, and instantly all of that powder just melts and it turns into satiny skin, which I love. And while my face is still wet and sheeny, I go in with my highlight. I'm using a highlight in the Morphe palette because that highlight is amazing. Look at it go. It's great. So I hit all the highlight places that we did with the concealer highlight, but this time it's on top and it's going to be shiny and it's going to catch the light and the sun and the gods are going to shine upon you and just bless you with grace. Okay, grace on your face. So I'm taking my fan brush and I'm blending that out until I'm happy. And then I hit the lips. This is NARS Jungle Red lip liner. So I'm just lining my lips with the NARS Jungle Red lip liner. And note, lip liner is very important if you want to have like good lips lined. I never used to wear lip liner, and then I realized my lipstick was always regular. When I elevated to lining my lips or lining my liquid liner first, the game was changed. Use lip liner. So anyway, I lined my lips, I filled my lips, and then I took, what is that? Lady Balls by Too Faced, and I went over it because that is like a super duper bright, this is red, in case you were wondering, red color. And I just repeated the steps. I lined my lips with that first, then I filled on the inside. Ladies, if you're new to liquid lipsticks, like those matte lipsticks, please do not rub your lips together when you put them on. Press. Think about that sound, like press them together. I always say like sponge painting. Your two lips are sponges. You're like painting each other. Or like your hands are like glue. Yeah, so I took my eyeshadow, right? And I put it over the lip. I wanted it to be as close to the eyeshadow color as possible. So I toned down some of the red that was naturally in the Lady Balls. And I added some of the same color tone red from the eyeshadow. They're not exactly the same, but it's fine. It's still red, it's still monochromatic. Then I went back into that Luscious Lex palette and used that red eyeshadow and put it as a blush. I wanted it to be really monochromatic and I wanted it to be really pigmented, and that palette is. So all the reds that are on my face are the same reds that are on my eyes. They're either from the Luscious Lex palette or the Moira Beauty from the Beauty Supply Store palette. But they're right there. And I was thinking about using this as lip liner, and then I was like, I want to add more depth to my eye. So that is actually a liquid lipstick, like in a deep burgundy matte. And again, when I sat down to do this makeup, I had no plan. I was like, red. And that's the beauty of doing makeup. I kind of just let what happened happen. I didn't know where I was going, but I was like, I want more when I was looking at it. Like, because this is beautiful. I could have been done, but I just wasn't. So I added some more depth by using that liquid lipstick and a very detailed smudge brush and just going inside and adding that depth. And now I'm just fixing any of the areas where I messed up my red, just making sure that it still looks like that perfect cut that it was before. And actually, I'm loving the depth. It's just making me want to be more and more extra. Like, I literally cannot stop myself. I'm just doing more and more. So now I'm adding some black on top of where I put the burgundy to really just deepen it even more and push it back even more, so that red that's on the lid will really pop in contrast to the black that's in the corners. So this is dimension that I'm creating right here. I already had a little bit with the fade, but now I'm making it even more heightened, or deepened rather. So that's what's going on here. I'm just blending that out until everything is just perfect and neat. And there I am again with that smudger, just making it go from that harshness to like a really soft, beautiful blend. It's gorgeous. I decided to go in with another coat of that eyeshadow just because I really wanted to get as close as I could to the color on my lid. And I think by like the third coat, it was looking a lot closer. So I was happy. So I got to my finishing part, last final spray of the setting spray. And then I was like, you know what? These jewels are sitting next to me and they're completely unoccupied. And I was like, red all over clearly isn't enough. Let's put jewels on it. So why not? So I take my Kiss Professional clear eyelash glue with the brush. I like eyelash glue with the brush, all of them. Those are the only kind I buy now. And I just put it in the area that I kind of want to make this jewel eye thing happen. And I pre-separated the pieces, of course, so I knew which ones I wanted to use after I saw them and found them. I saw the ones I wanted to use, and I just kind of mimicked the size and the placement. And then I started sticking them on my face after about 20 seconds. Letting the glue dry a little bit is really important because it makes the jewels kind of stick as soon as you put them on there. They don't slide. And also using a thin little layer helps. So, yeah. Once I get my jewels on, I get to the final stages of my face, which is lashes. I always do my lashes last because I don't ever want to get like eyeshadow or anything on my lashes. Of course, I coat them with mascara first. And I have my mascara wand bent because it helps to catch every little lash from every angle, every eye. And after I put both of those lashes on, baby, this look is complete. I genuinely hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please like and subscribe to the Kiana Experience. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And be blessed. Bye.